What is up, guys? 70 Savage here. Today we are going to be installing the insulation into the van. One of the most controversial topics in van building and camper van conversions is what insulation you're deciding to use. I did a bunch of research on this, and after weighing all the different options, I think I'm going to keep it pretty simple and just put this 3M Thinsulate all throughout the walls. So there are a few different reasons that I decided to go with the Thinsulate insulation. The first reason, and the most important reason to me, is that the material is inorganic and it's hydrophobic. That means that any water that gets into the body panels of the Sprinter, which trust me, a lot does when it rains or when I wash my car, any of these factory holes, such as the door handles, get water in them. And the fact that this is inorganic and hydrophobic means that any water getting in the body panels is going to just drain behind the Thinsulate and straight out the drain holes that are in the bottom of the factory panels. The second reason is that it's flame resistant. As you can see here, I'm lighting it, and it's actually not catching on fire at all. It's just slowly melting. The third reason that I went with Thinsulate is because it's actually a really good sound deadening material as well. So it's going to reduce a lot of the road noise, and it's also going to reduce a lot of the ambient noise while you're camping. The fourth reason, and the final one, is that it's not toxic in any way. So the pieces don't come off of this and become airborne and mess up your lungs when you breathe them. So it's pretty easy to work with. Oh, and I almost forgot, it has a pretty good R value as well. The R value on Thinsulate is roughly 3.2. That puts it just barely under some of the alternatives such as EcoWool, but with all of the other benefits of Thinsulate, I think it makes it the best overall choice. Alright, so the very first step is measuring the cavities that the insulation is going to go into. The only gotcha here is you want to add about a ½ inch to each edge to make sure that after the insulation's cut, it really snugs up against the edges of the cavity. The next step is cutting out the Thinsulate. Before you do this, you want to go to the hardware store and pick up yourself a nice set of industrial scissors. Other than that, you want to make sure to err on the side of cutting larger rather than cutting smaller against the measurements that you originally made. The final step is placing the cutouts into the cavities that you originally measured. Not all of the cutouts are perfectly square, so bring your scissors for this step and cut the edges to fit the non-square panels. Also, the majority of the panels you can see here, I didn't actually glue them into place, I just set them there. I only glued the panels that would fall out if they weren't glued. Most of those were either windows or the roof sections. Another really important tip is you want to keep the insulation as far away from possible as any mechanical moving parts. For instance, this door handle has a moving latch on the back. You don't want Thinsulate getting trapped in there and preventing your door handle from being opened in the future. Alright guys, so there we have it. We have the entire Sprinter van insulated. Here is a quick tour of the final result. Every little crack and crevice that could possibly store insulation, I put insulation in. So like these crevices, behind here, down inside here. Obviously the rear doors, the whole ceiling. The ceiling's actually the most difficult part to do. You need a second person to help you guide it in so that it goes in straight, and you need a lot of glue to stick it in there. I even put a layer of Thinsulate above the headliner here. Just popped out these pins in here. You literally just pull them out, all four of these, and then there's enough room in there to kind of just slide a sheet of insulation. But yeah, overall, pretty easy to do. I definitely would recommend doing this as one of your first projects in your van. And I would also highly recommend this Thinsulate stuff. The only downside is the price. Everything else is fantastic. So if you can swing it, then I would go for the Thinsulate. As usual, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And if you really enjoyed this video, I actually have a new Instagram account that I post on almost every day. It's 7_OSavage, same as a YouTube channel here. And link to that will be in the description below. Yeah, if you want to see more in-depth progress on each individual step that I'm doing, that's where I post how to do it. So hope you learned something from this video, and see you next time.